Private Tour Sydney, Eastern Suburbs Edition, Part 2. Kingsford Smith Sydney Airport is the main gateway of Australia, with a flight time from San Francisco of approximately 15 hours. The climate is mild throughout the year. Australia is in the southern hemisphere, so Sydney experiences the summer month when San Francisco experiences the winter. On your upper left is Sydney Harbour Bridge, nicknamed the coat hanger. On the opposite shore is Kirribilli, and the World Heritage Site, the Sydney Opera House, one of the 20th century's most famous and distinctive buildings. On the right side of the screen, you can see the eastern suburbs of Sydney. Today, I'm going to take you from Bondi Beach up to the north of Watson's Bay. This is Hall Street of Bondi Beach, a location that is always busy with people and their dogs. The Bill's restaurant is popular among locals and visitors, serving up their famous pancakes for breakfast. Messina is well known for their delicious flavors of gelato. My personal favorite is the salted caramel and white chocolate. This location is home to many Australian-style cafes. I recommend trying a flat white. At the end of this street, you can see beautiful Bondi Beach. Campbell Parade runs parallel to Bondi Beach, with pine trees to your left and palm trees to your right. Well-maintained heritage buildings look down over the sandy shores of Bondi Beach. Turning left, we enter a narrower street, Knott Avenue. To your left, you will soon see the well-established swimming club, Bondi Icebergs, which first opened its doors in 1929. The club contains a bar and restaurant, and I can imagine the wonderful views from the surrounding apartments. The coastal walk takes you from Bondi to Bronte Beach, with Tamarama Beach sandwiched between the two and lush green parkland beside Bronte Beach. This walk is around 3 kilometers and takes approximately 30 minutes to complete. If you continue to the south, you will reach the tiny Clovelly Beach, Gordon's Bay, and the locals' favorite, Coogee Beach. Now, if we continue walking northwest and past icebergs, we will eventually reach Bondi's sandy beaches. In front, you can see two fluttering flags. The first is the Australian Aboriginal flag, and the second is the flag of Australia. This is a famous ocean pool of icebergs. It's an outdoor pool, and during high tide, waves bring fresh water into the pool, along with small fish. It's no wonder Australians swim like a fish and drink like a fish. Many Australian beaches have these nostalgic ocean pools, which feel wonderful and refreshing to swim in. Sunrise at Bondi Beach is enjoyed in many ways. Sea surfers, yoga with a sunrise shower, walking and talking with friends on the sand. Australians sure know how to enjoy life. It is just after lunchtime. We are looking directly at Bondi Beach. The atmosphere is a little different to the early morning. Perhaps the locals are working for a change. I think there are a few reasons why this eclectic beachside suburb attracts thousands of visitors. It is the closest outer sea, only 4 miles east of CBD, about 20 minutes by car. There are many restaurants and cafes, and 1 kilometer strip of white sandy beach, finally not to mention these waves. We are now moving towards the north. This road is part of the City to Surf, a popular running event held annually in Sydney and covering 8.7 miles course. Dudley Page Reserve. This reserve is at the top of the hill, along Military Road. A panoramic view of the city of Sydney can be seen from here. It's close to the outer sea, so even though the air is a little polluted, you will be blown away by the cool sea breeze. These breezes also mean that the visibility is generally quite good in Sydney, which is great for taking photos. Each year, Sydney celebrates New Year's Eve with a multi-tiered event, focusing on the Sydney Harbour Bridge and surrounding Port Jackson. The main events are 2 pyrotechnic displays with family fireworks at 9 p.m. and the main event at midnight. These displays are televised nationally, with popular midnight fireworks televised globally. This is an amazing event and should certainly be included on your bucket list. On your left is a view of the city, and you can see Chinatown. There is a Chinatown located in each major city of Australia. Around the Sydney Tower, you can see the main shopping area, Circular Quay, the financial district, and 5-star hotels. In addition, you can see the Opera House, the Rocks, the Harbour Bridge, Luna Park Amusement Park, Milsons Point, and another business district, North Sydney. Beyond the city, you can see the Blue Mountains mountain range. This was listed as a World Heritage Site in the year 2000. This road runs parallel to the Tasman Sea. Driving up to the north, you will soon see the North Head and the entrance of the Sydney Harbour. The Gap is an ocean cliff on the South Head Peninsula, overlooking the Tasman Sea, and is located in the eastern suburb of Watsons Bay. The striking color of the Tasman Sea remains in your memory for a long time. From here, you can see the skyline of the city and the top of the harbour bridge. A liner leaving Sydney Harbour. The Dunbar shipwreck. The Dunbar was a full-rigged ship that was wrecked about 500 yards south of this spot in 1875, with 121 lives lost. There was only one survivor, and I wonder if their ancestors still live in Australia. This location is now a heritage site. Watsons Bay, sitting on the end of the South Head Peninsula. Watsons Bay takes its name from the sheltered bay and anchorage on its western side in Port Jackson. It provides views across the harbour to the bridge. Robertson Park is always bustling with visitors and locals, with children running around and families enjoying picnics. You could bring your PC and work from under a tree. It's not a bad idea. A regular ferry service is available between Watsons Bay and Circular Quay, which is great for both commuters and tourists. You can jump on a ferry at the quay and visit Watsons Bay, enjoying lunch at the restaurant and some sunbathing. Nearby, the South Head Heritage Trail has something for everyone. Incredible beach and harbour views, historical military remnants, and excellent whale-watching opportunities. If you are visiting here, don't forget to pack sunblock, a hat, sunglasses, and some water. The famous seafood restaurant, Doyle's on the Beach, is located here. It first opened its doors in 1885. I imagine that it's not easy to operate a restaurant for more than 135 years at the same location. I wonder if the survivor of the Dunbar had fish and chips at this restaurant. Adjacent to the restaurant, there is an open-style beer garden and beach club. It's a casual but vibrant atmosphere, perfect for watching the sunset behind the city and enjoying an ice-cold beer. Camp Cove Beach. This beach is just 200 meters long. The Tasman Sea is just around the corner, so the water is beautiful and clean. And the sea is always calm because it is tucked inside the cove. The beach faces the northeast, and the sun shows a nice angle from sunrise to sunset. This is a great place to enjoy the sunset too. By the way, in the southern hemisphere, north facing is better than south facing. Even though this beach is small, you can sunbathe, snorkel, paddleboard, and scuba dive. Walking towards the north and through the national park, you will reach Lady Bay Beach. This is a nudist beach and is surrounded by high natural rock walls. There's a ladder to climb down and land on the soft sandy beach. Sometimes you can see this beach while on the Manly Ferry when the captain takes a route close to the shore. I once saw a mother covering their child's eyes. Each year, Boxing Day, the 26th of December, the Sydney to Hobart yacht race is held. This is an annual event and is hosted by the Cruising Yacht Club of Australia. The race starts in Sydney Harbour and finishes in Hobart, Tasmania, with a race distance of approximately 630 nautical miles. It is considered the most difficult yacht race in the world. This is a great place to enjoy the start of the race. While on the topic of ships, way back in 1787, the first fleet made up of 11 ships departed from England to Australia, commanded by Captain Arthur Phillip. During this time in American history, George Washington arrived in Philadelphia. Benjamin Franklin nominated Washington to preside over the convention and was unanimously elected to serve as President General. The First Fleet left Portsmouth, England on the 13th of May 1787. On the 3rd of June, the fleet anchored at Santa Cruz at Tenerife, near Morocco. On June 10th, they set sail to cross the Atlantic to Rio de Janeiro, where they arrived on the 5th of August and stayed for a month. The fleet left Rio de Janeiro on September 4th, determined to beat the westerly winds, and arrived in Table Bay, South Africa on October 13th. The fleet faced challenging conditions on its voyage from Cape Town, spending some days stagnant at sea and others covering significant distance. This journey is regarded as one of the world's greatest sea voyages, with 11 vessels carrying around 1,487 people plus provisions, and traveling more than 15,000 miles over 250 days without losing a ship. During the journey, unfortunately 48 people died, giving a death rate of just over 3%. The passengers included sailors and convicts on 6 ships. Food, supply, and agricultural equipment on 3 ships, and 2 Royal Navy escort ships, each 10-gun, 6th-rate vessels. On the 26th of January 1788, the fleet sailed into Port Jackson and weighed anchor after 8 months at sea. This date is celebrated as Australia Day, making the beginning of the British settlement. This wonderful location was suitable for hunting and fishing for the Aboriginal Australians, the traditional owners of this land, who have inhabited this continent for over 50,000 years. They spent approximately 50 years in this same area, living with newcomers until 1840. I am enjoying this peaceful view with mixed feelings as I wonder where the Aboriginal Australians moved to.